Hi friends, welcome to Harmony Hills Home and Garden. I'm Jenny and we live and garden here in Baltimore, Maryland, Zone 7. Today it is a beautiful day outside, as was yesterday, as will be tomorrow, and maybe even the next day. So I think I'm going to use this as a sign to get out and direct seed some early spring vegetables. So I'm going to plant these 2 lettuces and this French breakfast radish outside today. Come with me and let's get it done. In particular, I've got some French breakfast radishes that my husband picked out at the garden center the other day, and he loves radishes, so I'm eager to see if I can make these work. And then also 2 kinds of lettuce. I've got some butter crunch green leaf lettuce, and I've got the Merlot lettuce that Baker Creek put in so many of our seed orders this spring. It's been a minute since I've planted anything outdoors, right? I mean, here we are in mid-February. Let me get the garage open. And I'm eager to get out there and see how the soil's looking and maybe get some seeds into the ground. Let's do it. All right. And there's one glove. Wait. There's the other one. Okay. So this is my makeshift vegetable garden. I know, you'd think with a half an acre I could find a better place to put in vegetables, but right now this is what's working for me. It generally gets full sun all day long. The sun comes up over there, goes up and goes down over there, so it gets full sun while the trees are still got no leaves on them. There is soil in here. I have a stand of perennial chives there. I'm going to just leave in there. Everything else in here is old and can be taken out. I have these 2 bags of compost and manure that have been sitting here for 6 months. I'm going to use those to top up all of the soil in all of these containers, and that will jumpstart the nutrient value of the containers as well. And so then I'm going to sow my lettuces and my radishes into these containers. Now, if I get a deer problem, deer could be a problem. Also, rabbits could be a problem, and squirrels could be a problem. So I do have a lot of netting that I can put over top of these to protect them, and I probably will, just to be sure. Now, we're here in early to mid-February. I think today's the 10th, so solid mid-February. And our last frost date average isn't until April 11th. But radishes and lettuces both can take a frost. So I'm hopeful that in the next week or so, these will germinate. And if they don't germinate quite yet, they will a little bit later. And this will be an outdoor vegetable garden in the smallest scale possible. This is going to be a messy job. I've already got myself a little bit messy, but I need to get this soil up into there. Ooh, those are dry. I think I'll bring you closer so you can see better. I tried a few different kinds of plants in here last year, and I didn't have incredible success with anything that I tried, so here's to trying again, right? That's all you can do, right? Maybe learn a little bit about what went wrong and just try again. I'm just going to loosen this soil up a little bit and prepare it to receive some more soil. Ooh, I see little chives starting to pop up. Yay. Not surprised, because all of the wild onions in the garden are coming up now too. I think these are garlic chives, not regular chives. They have white flowers on them, not pink. So this compost material, I feel it is really sandy. I can feel the grit between my fingers. And it's pretty dense, I would say. It's not like clay dense, but it's much more dense than the potting soil that was already in here. And I feel like this is pretty thick. So I'm going to go get some perlite and add it to each of these containers just to lighten up this mix a little bit and allow the roots of any plants in here to not have to fight through such thick soil. So unfortunately, the only perlite I have is this one that has Miracle Grow plant food in it. That's not what I wanted. Let me see if I'm going to use it after all. Yeah, I think I will add some in here, but I'm just not going to go really crazy with it. I just don't want a lot of Miracle Grow fertilizer in my containers. I was planning to add a lot more than this, but we'll just add a little bit in just to lighten it up a tad. Maybe it's not even worth it. I don't know. I wish I had plain perlite on hand, but I don't. All right, well, that didn't make an appreciable difference, but I'll continue to do that on the rest of them. So I have 3 packets of seeds. 1, 2, 3. Okay. The Butter Crunch lettuce seeds are pelletized, and all that means is that they have made it easier for me to handle it in my fingers as a gardener. So lettuce seeds are pretty tiny, and so in order to make them easier to pick up and manipulate and plant exactly where you want it, the seed company has put basically a coating around it to make it just a bigger seed. The coating is made out of organic materials like crushed perlite, clay, maybe a tiny bit of some sort of nutrient value, but I think mainly it's just a stable compound that is organic that you just put your seeds inside of. It will melt away and the seeds will be able to crack open from within it. So that's what a pelletized seed is. So the Butter Crunch lettuce is pelletized. Also, I bought that last year, so these seeds are 1 year old. The Merlot lettuce are not pelletized. I can feel in the packet that they're just little teeny tiny seeds in there. And again, these were free with my Baker Creek Seeds order this year. And the French breakfast radish seeds, I don't think they're going to be pelletized either. Radish seeds are a little bit bigger than the lettuce seeds, so they probably won't be as difficult to handle. Now I have 1, 2, 3 fully empty window boxes and 1 half empty. So I think I'm going to just work on this window box and this one. I'm going to put the radishes in here and 2 kinds of lettuce in here, and I'm only going to put a half of container of each thing. That will leave me 2 window boxes with nothing in them, so that later, as the weather continues to warm, I'll be able to do another succession of either these things again or something else that I haven't thought of yet. So that's my plan for today. I also brought out some tag equipment. These are just recycled plastic container lids that I cut into strips rather than just put them in the recycling bin right away. So I'm going to make my labels first. The French breakfast radish seeds say they should be sowed at 1/2 inch deep and 1 to 2 inches apart in rows 6 to 12 inches apart. I'm just going to do 1 row, so I think I'm actually going to zigzag them a little bit so that I can squeeze in a little bit more than just 1 row. But yeah, so 1/2 inch deep. I'm just going to make holes in the soil with my finger. And these seeds are bigger than lettuce seeds. I would say they're just about the size of a really fat sesame seed. There we go. Well, you know what? It looks like I'm doing 2 inch spacing in 2 rows. I'm going to put 1 seed in each hole, or 2 as that case may be, because it fell accidentally. holes might be a little deeper than a 1/2 inch, so hopefully they'll be all right anyway. Oh no. Okay, now I'm just going to gently cover them. Because my holes were too deep, I'm not going to actually fill in the entire hole. I'm going to allow a little bit of a divot to stay there. I'm aiming to have each of these seeds only covered with about a 1/2 inch of soil. I'm going to do one more just because I don't want to have 13 seeds. It sounds unlucky. There we go. All right, so that's French breakfast radish. These say that they are 25-day radishes. I think 25 days starts counting on the day that they emerge or germinate, so not starting today. These take 5 to 10 days to emerge, so they should be out on sometime between the 15th and the 20th of February with any luck. Again, it might be too cold here for them, but the packet says I can sow these as soon as the soil is workable. There's a honeybee flying around the camera. Did you see it? Did it come in front of the lens? Love it when that happens. All right, so that one is done. I'm just going to lay that there for a minute. And on to the lettuce. We'll do the butter crunch first. This says plant them 1/4 inch deep, and you're going to thin them to about 4 to 5 inches apart if you're trying to do heads. However, I'm not trying to do heads. I'm going to do cut and come again style. So I'm going to divide my container in half here. I'm going to put the label in. I'm going to do a kind of a microgreen style sowing. I'm not going to really worry about spacing or rows. And then I'm going to treat them as baby lettuces as they come up. Kind of like this. It might be a little thicker in spots than I really want, but I can always thin those out if needed. I'm just going to try to do like a baby lettuce harvest situation here, where each of these will come up and make a baby plant, and then I'll trim them off when they're small, and then they'll regrow. I'm just going to kind of shuffle the top of this soil and make sure that those seeds go down inside there about 1/4 inch. Maybe I'll take some of this soil and cover it if I need to. I don't really want to see any of the pink of the seed coating. That's another advantage to having pelletized seeds, is that you can see them in the soil generally, because they're usually a color that stands out from soil. Not that. These are pink. I also have some others that are orange. I have others that are greenish yellow, and still others that are more of a blue color. So just try to cover up all those pink seeds so that I can't see them. Most of them. Good. Okay, good. I'm going to do the same thing with this Merlot lettuce. Now these are not pelleted seeds, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to see them to cover them or not. Just have to see. These are kind of a light beigey tan color, and so I think I will see them on the top of the soil here. All right, and I'm going to save the rest of these in case this method doesn't work, or in case it's too soon. I'll have some seed to try again later. These were free, so they weren't, you know, a very voluminous package, but that's okay. They were free. Whoops. In there. Now I'm just going to use this soil over here to cover up these seeds. I can't really see them as well as I could see the pink ones, so I don't exactly know if I'm getting them all covered, but I'm doing the best I can, folks, and that's all it is when you're gardening. You just do the best you can. and learn from it. There we go. All right, so there's my divider. Merlot and butter crunch, and then over here, French breakfast radishes. Well guys, that's about all there is to it today. 2 kinds of lettuce and 1 kind of radish planted directly outside in refreshed soil. Soil that's been refreshed with some compost and some perlite that has a little bit of fertilizer in it. I'm hoping that it's not too soon to plant these things outside. I'm hoping they'll sprout for me and give me some produce. But again, a lot of my gardening experience is just experimental. I try to do things according to the way people recommend to me, but then also I try to take what I know and information that I have already in my experience and see if I can apply it to a new situation. So this is an example of trying to apply something that I have done before. I have grown radishes and lettuce before, but I'm not sure if this is too early. So that is the experimental part for me. So I hope that you experiment in your garden too. You know, I think that's how we learn the most, especially if we can get ourselves to take some records, write down somewhere what you've done, and then remember to come back to it later in the season and write down how it turned out. That's the part I always fail on. I've said this in my garden journal video last year. I have all the best intentions about this time of year of writing every single thing down. I keep a diary of what I've done every day in the garden, but then along about hot weather, all of that flies out the window and I leave my journal behind. And that's exactly what happened last year as well, despite my best efforts to not have it be that way. So thanks so much for joining me. I hope that your garden is coming along. If not for real, then at least in your mind. I hope your plans are coming along, and I hope you're getting things ready and being excited about the coming growing season. I know I am. I will see you in another video real soon, friends. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you again soon. Bye! Oh, hey guys, I was cleaning up and I remembered. I forgot to mention anything about watering these seeds in. I did not water these seeds in, and that's because this soil is already really, really, really moist. So I pressed it firmly, and I'm just calling that good enough. And if that comes back to bite me later, I'll learn from it.